Gavin, thank you for talking to us. Goalless draw against Spurs' under-21s. It's the first time that's happened, but certainly an engrossing affair.
Yeah, we haven't scored a goal in 2 games. So I'm fully aware of that. But look, it's not surprising, and I've said this all along from the very start, and early on, that these 2 games were set up we'd worked heavily on how we set up out of possession, especially in the lower mid block. And I'm not saying that that's what we're going to do. There will be aspects of our play when we're going to need to do that. So we need to understand that the players are doing that. But I thought tonight, particularly tonight, was fantastic. We've changed the whole 11 at half time with some lads who are trying to impress, and people badge as trialists. And you're playing against a very, very good Spurs side who move the ball really well, sharp, cut off your passing options very, very quickly when you're in possession of the ball, and do everything that you'd expect from a top Premiership side. And we've stuck in there, and the boys have been given a task. They've been given a series of tasks to get through over these 2 games, and they've done it admirably. Let's remember we've conceded 1 goal, and that was from someone switching off at a set piece. It's as simple as that. The idea for how we've set up in these 2 games, and they were deliberate games, is to not get played through. And I think we've achieved largely that. But obviously there's still a bit of work to do because you'd expect a side like Spurs to open you up on occasions. It's all about limiting those occasions, definitely.
And indeed, how pleased were you with the concentration of the lads, considering just how large sort of the spells for Tottenham in possession were?
Yeah, I mean, we expected that for starters. We almost called that because we're just trying to see those aspects of us. But to concentrate on those levels for that amount of time is difficult. It's really difficult. We've got to be on our money as well on the side. I'm surprised I've got a voice left, if I'm honest. And John and Steve and Carl and Dino, did their part tonight in respect of understanding what we wanted to do and stepping in when maybe my voice was going a bit croaky. So I'm really, really pleased. It's given me absolute like a foundation to go forward now. We're picking up a new side. We're bringing some new players in, and we're trying to fit them to what I want. And that's not an easy task. It's really not an easy task when you sometimes have them for one day a week or 2 hours on a Thursday night. So massively aspects of our play tonight where, particularly in possession, where we've got to massively improve, and there's no question about that. I said it after Saturday's game that we tend to have a muscle movement of just going long, and I think we're better players than that. We've got better players than to do that, and that's now our job to try and get that scoped into our training and scoped into our playing. And Saturday will be a really good test for us because it's a good step 3 side that are coming down. And the reason Saturday's been put in place as a good step 3 side, because we know that in Bracknell from last year, is to let's see where we are. End of week 3 is what we are. Let's see where we are, because we're playing a good team at our level. How are we functioning? And then it's a case of, well, it will be a case of going back to the drawing board, whether it's a total going back to the drawing board or whether it's just we need to enhance these bits and give us an extra 5-10% a year. We'll see.
You actually have taken my next question, which was the transition. We sort of saw a few counter-attacks or attempts at counter-attacks. I think Reece Beckles-Richards has probably the best chance before being bundled over. Were we perhaps a little bit too long tonight? Or, I mean, I suppose now you mentioned it, is it irrelevance really at this stage?
Oh, it's certainly irrelevance, yeah. I mean, we're barking out instructions, and let's get it right from the boys' point of view. We haven't done a lot on that because we've concentrated on what you've seen over these 2 games. These 2 games are very deliberate. These 2 games are very contrived to give us what we want to see in respect of being out of possession with the ball. That means we haven't done an awful lot with in possession. Pre-season's got another 4 weeks to go, and that obviously comes to the fore. So, yeah, you're going to be a counter-attacking side if you're going to sit mid to low block. Of course you are, because it dictates that you're going to have to get yourself up the pitch when you're in possession, and you've got to trust people to be able to play out of that. We didn't put the extra pass in, so we tended to, if a ball was set back, sometimes it needed an extra pass to go in somewhere else or to come out to one side, but we didn't do that. We tended to set back and go long, and for Marcus, particularly in the first half, it was really difficult, because although he will sometimes make chances out of nothing because of his pace, those balls had to go longer for him to do that, in behind and get them turned, and we never did that. We kicked too many balls short, and too many times they were able to bring it back and start again.
You've mentioned coming into Enfield having the ability with some senior players to have a voice on the pitch. 2 games in, have you felt that that's been the case?
Yeah, I've been used to a younger setup with the Met, and that's no disrespect, and been used to losing voice, my voice quite regularly in games. Normally about 70 minutes, it's just gone. John's got a younger voice than me, so it's appreciative. But you are looking for the extension of you on the pitch now. But in fairness, those guys are still learning what we want from them. So it's difficult to look at your Scotty Thomases and people like that, and Mickey Purcell's, and for them to expect them to be that extension, because they're actually still trying to grasp what we want from them as well. So yeah, I'm not out, not looking at that too deeply at the minute. But as times go on, you do look for those boys to problem solve and to be that extension.
That said, you must have been very pleased sort of individually with a number of players, and you mentioned the trialists as well. Was there anyone sort of stand out for you tonight?
Yeah, do you know what? I thought Alfie Williams did well. I thought Gucci did well tonight. But realistically, I could speak about all of them because they've come up against really good professional players tonight who are in a top Premiership club. Let's not get away from that. And they've stuck to their task really, really well. These are lads who are working during the day and at college and things like that. Don't have the ability to go and train during the day. A lot of them. So then they wheel themselves up on a Tuesday night and go and pit their wits against full-time footballers. So I really can't pick out at this stage anybody tonight. I thought they were all immense for what I'd asked of them.
Dean will be pleased with both keepers, I imagine.
Yeah, I think I think Reece had probably a bit more comfortable half than Addy did, but Addy produced a very, very good save off a deflected shot and produced a very good save on Saturday, if I remember rightly. So it's great for me as a manager to be looking at 2 keepers that are very competent and fighting for a jersey.
And finally, the attendance was over 1,000 tonight. I think 1125, which for you coming into a club like this must be extremely pleasing.
It's incredible, really. I probably owe them an apology because my ears are not as young as they used to be, and as I understand, they wanted to wave from me, and I had to be reminded by some people behind me with younger ears that that's what they were asking for. I managed to wave my aging hand up in the end, and we had a bit of a laugh about it. But no, look, that speaks for volumes, doesn't it? It's a pre-season friendly. All right, it's Spurs. I get it, and geographically, it's close, and probably there's some mixed emotions from some of our supporters because it's probably their Premiership club.
Split loyalty.
Yeah, absolutely. But from our point of view, to have that amount of people out for a pre-season friendly on a Tuesday night, when we're not playing our free-flowing football, we're looking at certain things, and to keep supporting us, to the end and clap the boys off as they did tonight and Saturday, is fairly new to me, of course, and very humbling.
Is it something you enjoy though? Sort of rather than being an alien experience.
I enjoy it when they're clapping us off. Yeah, I'd hate to lose a few games and and see how we go then. But listen, I've looked at. I knew what this club was about. I understood. I got a feel for this club in respect of when I first came in and spoke to the chairman and the members of the board. I understood about the fans owned and fans run, and understood having played here before and having managed here before that. They're a passionate group. They love their football club, and they're and I just felt that for the right time in my managerial career, this was the sort of place I wanted to be, if I'm honest. And it could come with its pitfalls. Of course, it can, because you've got to produce, and they're right to expect you to produce. And we're in a tough old league this season. There's no question about that. But moments like this, you enjoy. You really do.
Thank you, Gavin. On to the next one.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys.